afternoon, everyone. Trust you all having a pleasant day. This is Abuchi from Depth Foundation. Thank you for joining our class today. We hold this class every Sunday at 9 a.m. So we want to quickly apologize for, coming late. This is almost 10. So we had some technical issues we needed to resolve before, starting the class. So thank you for joining today again. Yes, need to set that properly. Yeah, so thank you for joining today again. Okay. Today's topic is on tithing, a very sensitive issue when it comes to the organized religion in Nigeria. Okay. The reason why, excuse me. The reason why it's a very sensitive issue is because it's one of the major streams of revenue for the organized religion. And I get it when, you need to get people to donate or offer something, that is required to continue to run the space where the religious gathering is taking place. I get that. Okay, so people should always find a way, because if, for example, somebody set up a worship center, there has to be a cost. There's definitely a cost of operational costs, which includes even human resources costs, whether you like it or not. So such things would exist when you set up a physical location for, that is worship center. Okay. So that's fine. And I think this religious organization, instead of, I basically, first of all, I think they should find a way to ensure that they get those costs sorted, and it will only be their members that will obviously, help with making sure these operational costs are met and the worship center continues to run, because that's where they go to hear the word of God. Even though I have a fundamental issue with the so-called word of God that they teach over there. That's one. The second thing is, I don't agree that you have to tell people to pay tithe, 10% of their earnings, or even any kind of offering, and backing it up with the scripture. Because the truth of the matter is that tithing, offering are not scriptural. There is nothing to back it up with the scripture. Yes, you can tell people to donate money because there is operational cost attached to running a worship center, but you need to be, you need to ensure there's integrity around it. You need to show that there's transparency. You need to ensure that there is openness. And what do I mean by that? You need to make sure that you let the people know that this money we are demanding is to meet up our cost obligations around running this worship center. And that could also include human resource costs, as I said. because the physical structure will not run itself. There needs to be humans. So wherever they can get volunteers, which they do, they get in volunteers. The one that requires that they need to pay somebody, they have to pay. Okay, so for that to run efficiently, for that to even run at all, there has to be, some sort of way to generate revenue, income to basically run those, offset those costs. So all you need to do is to tell your members what it is. And what it is that this is a worship center. It comes with operational cost. So it's those members that will obviously have to donate towards it. Okay? That's fine when you say that. Every reasonable human being already knows that. Okay? Now, what is not fine is when you construct something out of the Bible that doesn't exist. Okay? Such as tithing that we're going to discuss today, or any kind of offerings. You tell them to now give that offering. You tell them to now give tithes. You tell them to, in this part of the world, all sorts of first fruit, last fruit, middle fruit, left fruit, right fruit, all kinds of things, seed sowing, sow seed for this, so that. So you now see different ways they are demanding for money that is not integrity based. But the major problem, the fundamental problem, lies in now trying to back those things up scripturally. And those things have no business with the scriptures. This is why an organization like Debt Foundation has been born, to correct all of these things. That's our mission, to correct all of these things. There is nothing wrong with Christianity as the way when it comes to spirituality. By the way, the early Christians, what they actually call them is not even Christian. It's the way. That's what they are called. Go and research. There's nothing wrong with that, because the primary purpose why we're here is for our spiritual development. So Christianity, or the way, has teachings that is solely focused and guides people on this path. Those teachings have no business, or they don't come from the direction of the physical realm, because the physical realm is just an effect. That the roots are from the cause, which is the source. So what that simply means, everything you see in the physical realm is just effect of a cause. So even if you need to share something on the physical side of the plane, you need to go to the root, because the physical realm just mirrors the condition of the spiritual realm. So if you need to change anything, where you go to is to the unseen world. That's where you need to go make those changes, okay? And then those changes, normally, because everything in the unseen world, in the spiritual realm, is mirrored on the physical plane. So you need to go make those changes on the unseen, the spiritual world, so that they can be mirrored, and changed on the physical realm. So therefore, the Bible is a tool that help handle the unseen world, the spiritual world. Because that's where the major business lies. Because everything you see in this your physical world are just a byproduct of the condition of the inner world. Okay, so that's what the Bible represents, and that's why I tell you the teaching of tithing and so many of the whole teaching in the Christendom has no business with the actual teachings of the Bible. And why do we say this? We say this because the actual teachings of the Bible are psychological. What do we mean by they are psychological? They are the dramas that is taking place within you, because the Bible needs to focus on the cause, not effect. The Bible is a tool that focuses on what? The realm of cause, not the realm of effect. But the way the Christendom apply it today is that they focus it on the realm of effect. Then still focus, still refer to it on the realm of the spiritual world, because the realm of course is actually what you know today to be the spiritual. That's what is the spiritual world. And then when they do that, focus here, they get confused. That's why it gets muddled up. And that's why there is so much confusion when it comes to the teachings of the Christendom. So much contradictory of principles. Contradiction of principles, so much of it. They say A, then they turn it to B, and and this is why if you watch, because their teaching is not realistic, it doesn't solve problems. That's why the Gen Zs, if you watch, most of them are not interested. So the point I'm really trying to make is that if you set up a worship center, a physical location where you call a worship center, there is cost attached to that, to running of those places. It is okay for you to let the people who accept your message, okay, it's okay for you to let them know, that there's a cost to run here so that you can come and hear the word of God that you preach to them. And we need to offset this cost. Be transparent about it, be honest about it, have those conversations, let the people know that they have to give. What is not okay, as I said, is that when you start constructing things out of the Bible and then using it for this purpose, which in some instances can be genuine because truly there's a cost attached to running, worship centers. But you now go to the Bible and construct some things and now use it in a manner that is dishonest, even if the intention is an honest intention, but you now use it in a manner that is dishonest to get money out of them. That's wrong. And it's not just wrong in the way you do it. Those things you constructed out of the Bible to enable you do this so that you can get them, sort of subtle force to do your bidding. Okay, those things you constructed out of the Bible are not the teachings of the Bible, and that's the point we are trying to make. And by the time we finish dissecting this tithing thing, you will understand what the Bible truly teaches and what is religious dogmatism, and then you can make the judgment by yourself. So the topic today is tithing is not giving money or giving percentage. So it's not giving percentage of your earning or giving percentage of every other thing to, represent the 10% of your earning. so that the windows of heaven will open for you. But if you don't give it, you are robbing God. That's not what tithing is. And even offering, offering, because tithing is a form of offering. So we can, as we in this class, we can interchange both. So if I say tithing, I can say offering, I can call both of them. Just know they are what? Offerings. You get the point now. So tithing is not the true biblical meaning of tithing. Is not those giving 10% of anything, whether it's money, whether it's agricultural produce, whether it is whatever. It's not giving 10%. And you're going to know why we say it today. Because we're now going to take you to the original meaning of the Bible teachings, which is psychological. By psychological, we mean an event or drama that is taking place in your psychology. That also means that all the actors and all the characters are what? Personifications of your consciousness, in your, which is also your psychology, and its different attributes. So if you read anything you ever read in the Bible, if you do not see it as a drama, that something that is depicting, the drama that is taking, or the events taking place in your psychology, you will never miss, you will always miss the true meaning of that teaching. And this is why there are confusion, so much unexplained teachings in the Christendom. I'll point an example. When they tell you a Virgin Mary gave birth to a child, it doesn't make any sense. That's contradiction of principle. How can a virgin give birth to a child? So if the Bible, truly the Bible use that. So if the Bible uses it, the Bible doesn't mean it in literal way. There is a hidden message around it, because it doesn't make sense for a virgin to give birth to a child. That's one. There's a meaning to that. And that meaning is a drama or an event that is taking place inside of you. The birth of that child is going to take place inside of you. The Virgin Mary is an aspect of your psychology, your consciousness. But the Bible personified it and created that character, Virgin Mary. And that is similar to all characters. So there are so many things like that. For example, the parable of the unjust steward. How can somebody who is falsifying records, falsifying reports that he will present to the master, get good commendation for falsification from the master? It means that there is more to it that meets the eye. It means there is a hidden meaning to that story. How can somebody feed 5,000 persons, feed 5,000, thousands of persons with only 5 fishes? It means there's a hidden meaning. How can somebody turn water to wine? It means there's a hidden meaning. How can somebody fish, specifically talking about fishing from the right-hand side? It means there is a hidden meaning. So if you continue to see all of those stories and teachings and the characters as literal contemporary accounts of people that lived in time and space just like you and I, you will continue to have a lot of unanswered questions. You will continue to experience, have a lot of confusion, as we currently have it in the organized Christendom today. That's why that foundation has been battered. to begin to help people to unlearn those teachings that are anti-scriptural and begin to relearn the true original, hidden meanings of the Bible teachings that is psychological. By that, we mean an event that is taking place in your psychology, inside of you. That being said, let us revert back to tithing and, now prove it to you that tithing is not giving 10% of your earnings or anything in place of your earnings that is material so that the windows of heaven will open for you. That's not what tithing is. And I am not saying this teaching is not to encourage people not to give to their different religious organization. No, if you listen carefully, you know that's not what we're saying here. What we are doing here is to set the record straight, to reveal the true meaning of tithing for people, because it's important we reveal it. Because again, as I said, the Bible is a tool to help you navigate, handle, and conduct your psychology, the event taking place in your psychology. That's what it is. So if you're teaching anything outside of that scope, you are misleading the people, and the people will obviously not be on the right path, and they will continue to make a mess of their life, as we currently see today. So that's why it's important, all of those teachings in the Bible, we come out and tell people the original psychological meanings so that they will be able to apply it to their life for transformative living. That's one leg of it, why we do what we're doing. And that's why we also want to teach this tithing. So this message is not intended to dissuade people from donating to church, their religious organization, or giving support, or, but note that in giving, because one thing that is flawed about this teaching tithe as a monetary giving thing, okay, is that people then have the mindset that once they are giving their tithe, they expect as you teach them, according to Malachi, they expect the window of heaven to open and pour because they are giving you tithe. So they expect something in return. It becomes transactional. That has nothing to do with spirituality. So people need to know the true meanings of that tithing and all offerings in the Bible, so they can apply it the right way and get actual, result that will be experiential. So again, it's not intended to discourage people from giving. If you want to give because you want to give, or because you see a need, a purpose for giving, which is, okay, they have to fuel the generator in that worship center. Okay, we have to pay somebody who will play the keyboard for us. You are giving for a purpose, right? That's what it means. Give for that. Don't give because you expect God to open the window of heaven for you, just because you give. What does your giving mean to God? I mean, even looking at God from the perspective of the organized religion. That's why I tell you, most of their teachings are contradiction of principle. They say God has everything. He's the owner of everything. He created everything. Yet you're required to give 10% so that He will open the window of heaven for you. They say it's your father and all of those things. Your father should give you something. Does your father collect money from you to give you? I'm training. I have my kids. I'm taking care of them. Okay. I'm not giving it to them because I'm not doing that because I expect anything from them, even in future. I'm doing it because I see the need to raise a life properly for the betterment of the world. So any giving that is you're giving it because you expect something in return, anything expectation is anti-scriptural. It is anti-faith. And without faith, you cannot please God. Now, let's not, continue to stress it. I hope you have been able to get our intended message today. So let's just go to the scriptures and prove to you why we said tithing is not monetary giving. Okay? Now, let's prove that. Follow me to Genesis 4, verse 4 to 5. It says, "And the Lord had respect unto Abel, and in his offerings." Remember, we are speaking about offering today, and tithing is a form of offering. "And his what? Offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect." So God has respect for one person's offering. Respected one person and also his offering. Obviously, he respected the person because of the offering, the kind of offering the person gave. Then he didn't respect the other person because of the kind of offering that person gave. Now, why did that happen? Let's try to, explain it with Hebrews 11, verse 4. What does that say? "By faith, Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain." Let me repeat. "By faith, Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain." Okay? Note the key word there, or the determinant here is faith. So why did, in Genesis 4 to 5, why did God have respect for Abel's offering? He had respect for Abel's offering because Abel gave it by faith. Let's remind ourselves something. Abel gave it what? By faith. Let's quickly remind ourselves something. You cannot please God. Without faith, you cannot please God. Hebrew 11:6. It says, without faith, you cannot what? You cannot please God. So you see, in Genesis, both of them gave offering. God respected one, God did not respect the other. If you go to Hebrew 11, verse 4, it tells you the reason why God respected the offering of Abel and did not respect the offering of Cain is because of faith. Now, if you go downward to Hebrew 11:6, it says, without faith, you cannot please God. So it is clear what offering connotes. And that is what? Faith. Since tithing is a form of faith, it means that tithing is what? Since tithing is a form of offering, it means that tithing is faith. Offering is faith, therefore tithing is faith. You see how important faith is. And what is faith? How do you calling things not seen as though they are seen? If you go to Romans 4:17, it says, Call the thing not sin, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So basically, calling things not sin as though they are sin. What does that mean? Calling things not sin as though they are sin. Let's go to Mark 11:24. What does it say? Mark 11:24 says, therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and what? It will be yours. So the condition for getting anything you want is what? Belief. And belief is faith. And what that truly means is that believe, take it like your wish is already fulfilled. Right now, the wish is not fulfilled, but you act as though it is fulfilled. That is faith, according to Romans. Calling things not sin as though they are sin. Treating what you currently don't have that you desire as though you already have it and you no longer have the desire for it. That's faith. In our next class, we'll do a deep dive into faith. But for today, we want to show you that offering is to exercise faith, not to give money or give anything that is tangible. If you're giving anything you want to give, you can go and get ahead and give, because what? You want to give maybe for a purpose, maybe because you enjoy giving or something. If you're giving it with the intention that in the Bible say if you give, you will get, you understand? That's not what the Bible means. And you're going to learn that today. You're going to learn that today. The Bible is a psychological book, the greatest one that has ever been written. Okay, back to what we're teaching. So in Mark 11:24, it makes us understand that the only way to get, the only condition to get what you want is what? True belief. And belief is faith. And faith is the conviction that you already have what you desire to have. That's why if you go to Joel 3:10, it says, let the weak say, I am strong. It's faith. Call being strong. You are not strong now, but act as though you are strong. So you see, and if we even want to take it further, to even simplify it further, for you to understand. Now, you know that when you are offering, it comes in different form. It could be in form of tithe or any other thing. But we are clear now that offering is faith, based on Hebrew 11:4. Offering is what? Faith. And we have also established that the way to get anything you want is what? Through faith, according to Mark 11:24. Now, let's even go to the angle of giving. Because you think that giving is when you give something. Human beings can always give things as far as they're in their physical plane. There's always give and take. But the Bible, when the Bible says give and take, is using the activity of the human being in it, because the Bible is a business, is a book for the business of handling your inner world, your spiritual world, your consciousness inside of you. That's why Christ, the hope of glory, is within. The kingdom of what? The kingdom of heaven is within. The Bible is a book that depicts how you should conduct this, because this is more important than what you see outside. The things you see outside are just byproduct of this. So if you want to change anything, you would be foolish if you're going to change anything from the outside. This was just the difference. That's what the story of Abel and Cain is trying to teach. Why one pleased God through his sacrifice, which offering, which is faith, and the other one didn't please God. So obviously what he did was anti-faith. And the true application of faith is what? To think it's inward. That's the only place you can please God. That's the only thing the Bible teaches and the word, God is about. Inward. The outer world is subject to the inner world. So if you need to change anything, you change it from the inward. That's what Cain did. That's the sacrifice of Cain that was acceptable to God. People who focus on the outer world, wanting to make sure, not Cain in my last statement. That's what Abel did. Abel focused, his offering was that of what? Faith. Unlike who? Unlike Cain, who focuses, he is the carnal man, the man that focuses on the outer world. It is foolish to focus on the outer world because you can't make any change from there. That's why we get frustrated. Things are happening in our life, we're helpless. That's why you run from one church to the other, because they're not teaching you the true, deeper meanings of the Bible teaching. You keep running and what is happening is still there, because what? You have not gone to change it where you are supposed to change it. And we even know that scripturally, that any change you need to make, you need to go inward. Let's go to Galatians. Transform, that's Romans 12:2. Listen to what I just explained now. In Romans 12:2, it says, do not conform to the pattern of this world. Don't behave like Cain, the faithless man. That's what it means, do not conform to the pattern of this world. The pattern of this world is the pattern of the physical world. But be transformed. If you need to change anything, transformation, radical change that will be permanent, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Where is your mind? Inside. And what is mind? Mind is thinking, feeling. So is your imagination. So if you need to change anything that is currently in your physical world you do not like, you will do it by faith. And where do you apply faith? In the mind. You turn away from, you shut the door according to prayer, okay? In Matthew, you say, if you want to pray what? Don't pray like the heathens and those ones that stand on the street corners or in the synagogue and praying for people to see them, okay? That's what all of you do. That's not true prayer. True prayer is what? Shut the door. Go into your closet and shut the door. Okay? That is not conforming to the pattern of the world, removing your attention from the physical world and focusing it, what? In your world. You can only make change according to Romans 12:2. You can only renew your mind. You can only transform. Transform means change whatever situation that is currently a problem to you by renewing your mind. By what? Renewing your mind. And to renew your mind is you need to go and change the way, the concept you have of that situation. If it's a concept of lack, you go here and change it back to a concept of abundance. So all change is inward. And when you're making change inward, you are not yet seeing that, and that's where faith is applied. And that's what Abel did, unlike Cain. And it pleased God. God respected that offering. So he was talking. So anything offering and tithing, because tithing is a form of offering, the Bible meaning for it is exercising faith, not giving monetary, tangible things. The moment you're giving monetary, tangible things, you are actually being anti-faithful. You are actually behaving like Cain. And God does not have respect for such a person. It is what you give that you get. It's scriptural. Let's go to Acts. Let's go to Acts. Hold on. I think it's not Acts. Give me a sec. I want to really round off this class as quickly as possible. Galatians 6 verse 7. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what? He sows. There's a place that I want to use the exact, God is no respecter of persons. So anyways, God is no respecter of persons. Whatever a man sows, that is what he will reap. As you can see, he didn't respect Cain because Cain did not apply faith. So you know today that offering is faith. When the Bible says, bring the offering of praise, what does that mean? It's still faith. Okay, how is bring the offering of praise? Faith. Okay, it is faith because praise can indicate. Praise is a sign of receivership. Thanksgiving is a sign of receivership. For example, as you do in your Christendom today, something good happens, you go and give. You go for Thanksgiving. So what does that Thanksgiving indicate? That Thanksgiving indicates that something good has happened. But you are doing it the opposite way, or in the physical plane, because the way they teach you the Bible is not directed inwards, it's directed outwards, focused on the word of the realm of effect. Okay, whereas the true teachings of the Bible focus on the realm of cause. Okay, so by the realm of effect, going by the realm of effect, when you go give thanksgiving or you go give praise, you are doing it because you have received something. But through faith, if you now take it to the realm of cause, which is the tool the Bible is about, if you now take it inwards, true faith is that thanksgiving that you are going to give for receiving something. First of all, have it here. That's belief, that's faith. It's only when you have it here. Joel, let the weak say, I am strong. When you first have it inward in your imagination, then it will outpicture itself. By the way, that Thanksgiving you want to give and all of those things, it must have first taken place in your imagination, okay, before you ever bettered it in the world. The only difference is that you were doing it unconsciously. The essence of the foundation teaching is to now bring people to the conscious use of what? Of the Bible, which is psychological. Okay, so again, giving also means faith. Why do we say so? Obviously, giving is offering. And we have now seen that offering is faith. It's not giving tangible things, money or whatever, or your farm produce. Okay? But I'm not saying don't give to your pastors. I am saying know what actual Bible giving. When your pastor tells you you should give because it is written in the Bible, that's not what the Bible means. So you need to know the correct thing so that when you are giving, you give not because you expect the windows of heaven to open for you, because you need to give because they need to buy fuel to run the gen or pay somebody that will come and play the keyboard. Because you need to know this, because if you're giving as because you want to receive blessing from God, you are behaving like Cain, and God has no respect for such offering, because if that offering is not you giving faith in your inward being, God doesn't respect it. It doesn't, in fact, that is anti-faith, because you won't please God. So make sure when you are truly giving physically to your, religious leaders, you're not doing it because you want to, the window of heaven to open for you. Because right now, you now know that Prophet Malachi, what he meant by tithing is, of course, as you now know that tithing is offering and offering is faith. What he meant by that is he's telling you to exercise faith. When he said give 10%, that's exercise faith. And when you exercise faith, he now said what? The window, the gate of heavens will open for you, and God will pour down the blessing that you cannot contain. But if you don't give tithe, which we now know now means to exercise faith. So if you don't exercise faith, Prophet Malachi also said you are robbing God. And as we all know, the only way to get whatever you want is true belief, which is faith. That's the only condition for your prayer to be answered. You pray because you want to get something. So the only is true faith, not giving money, not giving money for God to do anything. By the way, that money doesn't go to God at the end of the day, because there's no God outside of you that money goes to. So you are focusing on the wrong path by thinking that giving your money, your physical money, is what is something that is supposed to. That teaching you were taught in the Christendom is not backed scriptural. It is flawed. You are learning the true teachings now, which is psychological. So you now know what Prophet Malachi was saying. If you don't exercise faith, you're robbing God. Not when, in fact, if you go give, it is showing a sign. If you go give monetary value so that you get something, it is showing a sign of anti-faith, a sign of unbelief. Because you are giving, you want to receive something you don't have. And you remember in Mark, it says to get that thing you don't have, which is prayer, is only when you believe you can get it. So belief is not tangible thing. Faith is not tangible thing. Where do you believe? In Galatians, we now know that where you believe, where you go to make the change, is not in the physical world like you're trying to behave like Cain. You go what? In your mind. Your mind is simply your thoughts that has feeling attached to it. That's mind. So you go inwards. That's why in Corinthians or somewhere, Colossians or somewhere, it says Christ, the hope of glory, is within you. And that's why it's telling you that the kingdom of God is within you. Everything, the Bible is a book that contains the teachings that helps you handle the event and the drama that is taking place in your mind, your consciousness. So Prophet Malachi wasn't speaking to 10% of agricultural produce, because that's how some people try to explain it, like people that know that, this doctrine of tithing is wrong. They now try to explain it that you need to stop that because it is there back then, it was 10. No, all of those stories, I know those stories have deeper meanings. And this deeper meaning is psychological. What is playing out inside of you as we speak now. That's what is so offering. And tithing, which is a form of offering, is faith. It's telling you to exercise faith. And it's when you exercise faith that the windows of heaven will open to you, according to Prophet Malachi. If you don't exercise faith, you rob God. And that's why other Bible verses show us that somebody who is not faithful cannot please God, because you are not a friend to God. And in Mark, he's also saying us to get anything we want. Only one condition is to be faithful. So the story of Abel and Cain is the story of one who is faithful, which is what pleases God, and one who is not faithful, which is what does not please God. That's what all of this thing means. But if you want to even expand it further, let's go to Luke. Let's now leave offering and now take giving, which is also offering because you offer is to give. Let's now take the word giving, and we're going to round it off here. I don't want to reach 1 hour. Okay, this is 50 minutes something. I'm rounding it off here. So if you take Luke 6 verse 38, it says, give and it shall be given unto you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured with you. That's not, as I said, that giving of the Bible is not to give. What this is saying is what? Give is to be faithful, show faith. Always keep at the back of your mind that the only condition for every heart desire you ever want to be bettered in your physical world is true belief, which is faith. Always keep that at the back of your mind. Not money. That thing you're giving, that money you're giving, you're going against God's, scriptural teaching. It's not backed scripturally. If you know the Bible's deeper meanings, which is teachings, which meaning, Bible's original, the meaning of the original meaning of its teachings, which is psychological, you will. That's why whatever you do, as far as you're behaving in a carnal way, just like Cain, you will not get result. That's why I always use, these teachings are unworkable. They will never work. Teaching the Bible as a tool for handling the word of effect, it can't work. It's unworkable. Okay, back to what we're saying. Luke 6:38, give and it will be given unto you, a good measure. So that give is offering. Okay, so if you have faith, you get results. That's what this thing is saying. Not going to give good measure, just like the windows of heaven will open in Malachi. That's Malachi 3:10. Okay. Okay. Now let's even take it again from Matthew 13 verse 12. It says, whoever has will be given. Listen, whoever has will be given, and they will have abundance. And I say, whoever does not have, even what they have will be what? Will be taken away from them. This makes a lot of sense, and it is in line with everything I have taught you here today. The only time you will not understand this Bible verse if you continue to see the Bible as anything other than a psychological book. You will never understand it. It becomes, okay, based on, let's even accept without conceding, let's look at it from the perspective of the organized Christendom teaching. It says, whoever has will be given more, and they will have abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. Isn't that unfair? Let's look at it literally. Is that not wickedness? You will take from the poor who does not have and carry it and give to the rich who even already have. It doesn't make any sense if without, let's take it from the perspective of the Christendom without conceding. That doesn't make any sense. Why will you take from somebody who does not have and give to somebody who already have? That is wickedness. So when you read any Bible verse that appears like this, just know there is a hidden meaning to it. And what's the hidden meaning to this particular Bible verse that we read? What it means is whoever has, it will be given to him and he will have abundance. Even the one who do not have, what he has will be taken from him and given to the one who has. It's simply faith. This is a very good explanation of Mark 11:24 and Joel 3 verse 10. Let the weak say, I am strong. So let's use Joel because Joel will really simplify the explanation. Let's use Joel. Let the weak say, I am strong. When the weak already know that he's weak, but is saying you should, see yourself that you are strong. That is having. Now, it is when you see yourself that you are strong, that is having, that you will now what? Get in abundance. So Joel explains it. Joel simplifies it. Okay? But if you don't take the advice that was given in Joel and see yourself like, oh, okay, it's not there. Pity me, it's not there. You will never have. And even the one that you have will be taken from you. What it means is you will die in your sin. Your situation will continue to be worse. And that is what is happening to most people. Hey, I have this problem. Hey, this. Hey, that. Hey, that. What you are doing is lack of faith, anti-faith. And when you're having anti-faith, what happens? You continue to go down the spiral. It is only when you take the advice in Joel 3 verse 10, let the weak say I'm strong. Believe that your desire has already happened. What that simply means, you will have the experience ahead of the actual experience. That's why we're closing now. That's why in Matthew, that's why in John 4:35, what does he say? What did John 4:35 say? He said, do you not have a saying, it is 4 months until harvest? I tell you, open your eyes and look at the fields. They are ripe for harvest. What is this trying to tell you? Don't say, I will be well. Act, you are well. Just listen carefully to what I say. Don't say, I will be well. Act well. I did not say you will be well, or say you are well. I say act well. That is faith. Don't say, I will be well. Act well. It is when you act well that you have fulfilled the condition in Matthew 13:12. Whoever has will be given more. It's when you act well that you will not get that wellness. If you don't, your situation will start getting worse. And to round it off, 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7, it says, we walk by faith and not by sight. So therefore, don't say, I will be well. Don't say, it will be well. Don't say, it is well. Act well. Act what? Act well. Thank you for listening. Join us next week, Sunday, same time, 9 a.m., same platform, for more revelation of the deeper meanings of the Bible teachings, which is psychological. Do have a pleasant rest of the day and try to practice these things we've learned today. Bye.